Hi everyone, it's Sarah, the owner and creator of Multifarious Nature. I'm so glad that you're here today. If you're new, welcome, and if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. So actually, shop update. I actually did a lot of dyeing, yesterday, which is awesome. I'm so grateful to have the time to do that. And I dyed up a bunch of advent calendar colorways. So for those of you that aren't familiar with yarn advent calendars, there's 25 skeins of yarn. 24 are mini skeins that are going to be 20 grams each, and then there will be a 100-gram full-size skein for the 25th day of December. And you open it up each day of December, starting from the 1st through the 25th. And yeah, I'm really excited about that. I can't show you those colorways, of course, because it's a surprise. I don't want to ruin the surprise. So there is a photo that is associated with it on, oh wow, there's a pin on the floor. That's not good. Anyway, sorry, that was random. Good grief. Sorry about that. There's a photo on the website, and of course I'll include the link below for the advent calendar, and that photo is the inspiration photo that I'm using for the colorways. So of course these colorways are just going to be inspired by that photo, and there's going to be a variety of different types of colorways, different looks to the colorways. They're not like all going to be solid, semi-solids or speckles. They're just, it's going to be an awesome variety. So I'm really excited about it. I'm so glad that I got to dye up a bunch. Literally I dyed up 5 colorways yesterday, which that's huge. That was a lot of dyeing. My drying racks were completely filled with yarn, and that was awesome. And then I also dyed up some more mystery mini skeins, so there's more of those in the shop. And also I did dye up an actual skein that I can show you, because the mystery mini skeins also are something that I won't show you. You just get surprised when you get one. And but I dyed up more of the electric blue raspberry. This is an awesome base. It is an awesome base, but it's an awesome colorway. Super beautiful blue. It's variegated. You have white throughout. There's this deep blue teal color. I do have this currently in 2 bases. One is a silk blend, so excuse me, it's a 50-50, 50% superwash merino, 50% silk. So that's what I currently have with this one, which is a 75-25 blend. So 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. Excellent for socks. They're both fingering weight. I'm a big fingering weight fan. So and this is at 462 yards for 100 grams. Oh, I love this color. I love this colorway so much. And I do apologize for the delay, because I haven't really worked on that little scarf with my swatches, my swatch scarf, but I will be doing one of electric blue raspberry. They do look slightly different. The colorway base that I'm using for my swatch sample is going to be the 50-50 blend. So it has silk in it, and the silk does make it look more shiny because of the silk properties, where this is still quite beautiful, and the deep colors of the dark teal blue, like super deep blue in here, that is I don't know, it just looks, I guess, a little bit brighter on the 50-50 base, which makes sense because of the shine, the reflection that comes off of it, but gorgeous. So this will be in the shop. I have a couple of these dyed up. As always, I can totally dye this if you want it on like the Peruvian Highland wool base. I can definitely do that for you. Just let me know and I'll get that dyed up for you. So super excited about that. And all right, so works in progress. Let's do the All of the Lights cardigan, shall we? This is just such a work of art, I have to say. Locatelli, which is the designer who wrote the pattern, for the All of the Lights cardigan. Her mind, I am so impressed. So the pockets, like I said, I screwed it up last week. I think I said that last week, or maybe I can't remember. I totally screwed it up, so I had to rip back. And now I am past the point that I was the week prior, thank goodness. So there's actually progress at this point. So here we are, guys. Look how much longer it is. So here is where we left off last week, literally like 2 rows down from the split of the pocket. There's not a back to the pocket yet. That I guess will be in another section. But you can see the little pockets now, and there's the little stitches for this braiding that's going to go across the top of the pockets are on hold right now. So a lot of progress, inches again. I needed to catch up from what I did when I totally screwed up a week ago. So I'm really excited about that progress. I think it looks so good so far. I love this detailing of the braid on the pockets. I just think this is so cute, and it's kind of got that slouchy pocket look. I just love it. And this is my 100% Peruvian Highland wool base, which gives you that excellent stitch definition. And this is in my scarlet colorway for Multifarious Nature. Just love it. Oh, I love it so much. You can see all this beautiful detailing. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm really excited. And it's coming along now. I guess when you first do the first couple sections, it seems like an eternity because you're trying to get used to the pattern. And like I said, the more I work on the pattern, the more I repeat the pattern, the quicker it seems to go. I think it just makes a lot more sense as you keep going with it. But it's definitely a labor of love. I definitely have had better luck working on this without watching something that takes a lot of attention. I've been listening to podcasts while I work on this, which is awesome, knitting podcasts. And that's fine because I listen, but it doesn't take a lot of focus of me. But if I'm watching a show or a movie, I am not working on this cardigan because I just cannot work on this and focus on that. It doesn't work. I get very distracted and it's frustrating. So, but I absolutely love this pattern. Don't get me wrong. This is definitely, I would say, an advanced beginner. Anyone could do this pattern. You know, if you really have your heart set on it, go for it. But I'm just warning you, it is very, very intricate and takes an immense amount of focus. And if I guess I'm trying to say is that if you're looking for something that you can just knit on and not pay attention and just chill out, this is not your pattern. I look at the actual written pattern every single time, every single row, every single section of the patterning, and yeah, I have to do that because I will forget, and it's not a memorizable stitch pattern when it comes to this lace work and all of this. It's not memorizable. I don't know how you could memorize it. I know there are people that have spreadsheets they've created with the pattern, like a way of following the pattern. They did it that way. I literally am using a pencil and marking on my pattern. There you go. Marking on my pattern sections of the repeats and marking where I'm at every single time and then recording it when I break for the section and go to another section. So that's what I'm talking about. Like, you're jumping around a lot with this pattern. It's super intricate, but well worth it. I tried it on, and I guess I could try it on again for you guys. I just have to be careful that I don't drop the stitches because that would be a nightmare. Okay, let's see here. Okay. Be careful because yeah, I don't want to drop my stitches. I'm a little nervous. Ooh. Okay, yeah. Should have probably put it on the longer cable, but you could see the length. It's like now definitely down past my pockets in my pants. So it is getting much longer, but it's just fitting so well. Now granted, this isn't blocked, and so I'm sure when I block it, it will relax as well, because these stitches are not struggling here, guys, because I just really don't want to drop my stitches. That would just be tragedy. Don't you just hold your breath every time you move something you're working on? It's on circular needles, or any needles for that matter. Anyway, yeah, so lots of progress. Super excited about it. Using my Caboo needles. I did use the needles that she recommended. Pretty sure I used the needles she recommended for the pattern. And this, again, is a fingering weight yarn. I think it's a sport weight, excuse me, that the pattern calls for. But I use fingering. They're very similar in weight. Again, this is that Peruvian Highland wool. It's a non-superwash wool, so it's very fluffy, and it's definitely a thicker fingering. It's not a thin fingering. So, but oh, I just love it. I love it so much. It's turning out amazing. So I've already gotten through 2 balls of my my Peruvian Highland wool, and now I am on my second 2, and I'm just trucking through on those. And I mean, there's still quite a bit left on each of these 3rd and 4th balls of cakes of yarn, but I definitely had enough. I have 6 skeins set aside for this. I might need more. I'm not quite sure. I think 6 will be fine. I'm alternating skeins. That's why it's like super scary when I'm putting this on, because as you can see, I've got 2 strands of yarn hanging off of here because I'm alternating skeins. So that way I don't have any major pooling with the it's a slightly, I mean, it's definitely more of like a tonal red is what it is, but because it does have lighter and darker areas to it, I really wanted that to be nicely distributed, and this helps because it's hand-dyed yarn. Okay, so that is the All the Lights cardigan, and I'm getting there. That one is a labor of love, and I know I'm going to be doing this for a while. I'm hoping that I can finish it in the near future. I might still be working on it in July because it's just not moving that fast. I think the sleeves will be faster because there's more of the texture stitch, but just I think it has like the braiding down the sleeve and maybe a little bit of a cabling, but it doesn't have as much like lace work and all that going on. So I'm hoping that'll go faster. I'm a couple inches away from the bottom ribbing section of the front of like the main part of the cardigan. So that's exciting because like once that's all done. And I think actually prior to doing the ribbing, I think you have to do the back of the pockets. So as I said, everything's done in sections, so we'll see how that works. I've heard it's like wizardry. It's amazing what she does with these pockets, and I can see what people are talking about. It's wow, very detailed, and I'm excited to do like that little braiding that goes across the top of the pockets. Just such a detailed little cardigan, and the most detailed item I have ever knit, let alone even crocheted. So this one is a big feat for me and a learning experience. So next is the Amelia Tank. My cotton bamboo yarn. So this is using, so it's the Amelia Tank by Grace for the Frills. It's another free pattern. This one's a free pattern. The All the Lights cardigan is a paid for. But I'm using the Caboo yarn by Lion Brand. It's my second time using Caboo yarn. I knit with it in the past. I tried knitting with it for the tulip cardigan I tried to make and said, heck no, that's not happening. So I decided to do the crochet, and that is the Amelia Tank, which is a really beautiful tank that has like, what's the term I'm looking for? Like a peplum. Yeah, peplum. So it's fitted at the top, and then it has like ruffle at the bottom. It's like wavy because it's bigger. So it's more fitted at the top, and then it gets wavier at the bottom. So I'm really not describing this very well. Here's a photo. So that's what it looks like, and it's really pretty. So I worked on this on my lunch breaks. Like 2 inches of progress. So I did have some progress. It's going along. Yeah, here we go. 2 inches of progress. And the pattern is really nice. It's a really nice pattern. But I have to say, this Caboo yarn, wow, I really don't like crocheting with it. I guess I'd rather crochet it than knit it, because tensioning it for knitting hurts my hands so much. And crocheting with it though, it splits. So I think it's my technique. It's the way I crochet. I'm sure that has to do with it, the tensioning. I tend to tension it the same way I knit, so I weave it through my fingers. And because I do it that way, it kind of untwists it. It's very easy to untwist this yarn. It's just very easy to untwist it. I'm sure others have encountered this. And if you have a secret to working with it so it doesn't untwist, please share it below. I would love to know, because that is really annoying. As I'm crocheting along, it splits the stitch, and then I have to undo it and go back and repeat. So it's really slowing down my process, and yeah, so it's really annoying that that's happening. But it's a nice pattern so far. The pattern I'm enjoying. I mean, it's very basic at the moment. This is a free pattern that you can find on Ravelry, and I think it's a link to their website. So if that is the case, I will share the link to the website. But yeah, it's a nice pattern so far. I like the feel. The feel of the Caboo yarn, the cotton bamboo blend, is super, super soft and cool. So I mean, this is going to be excellent for the summertime. So I really want to finish it, but the process of working on it is a little annoying. I won't say torture, because torture was knitting with it. That was torture. That really hurt my hands. So but I would say it's annoying to crochet with. So yeah, if you have a secret to crocheting Caboo yarn in particular, I don't know about other cotton bamboo yarns, but Caboo, it just tends to split on me while I'm working on it, and that's really rough. So yeah, if you have any secret to working on that, I would love to hear it. Please, please, please share below, because I want to learn from your wisdom. So please share that. I have, I think it's 4 skeins of 100 grams of the Caboo, and that was initially for the other pattern, but I think this is going to be way more than enough, if not too much, for this one. I think it'll be just the right amount, and yeah, hopefully I won't end up with a bunch extra, because that's what I was trying to do, is go through my my stash, and I just bought a couple extra because I only had 2 in stash. So yeah, so that is the Amelia Tank, and you guys, so exciting. I have a finished object. Well, mostly finished. I know some people will probably disagree that it's finished, because I have not washed it or blocked it yet. So it will grow, which I want, because the size it is right now is fine, but I want it to grow. You guys, do you know what it is? I'm sure you know what it is. If you watched my last video, you probably know what it is. So the Passe Partout is a shawl that is free by Maanel. And I'll include the link below, of course. And I finished it. I wanted to finish it because my friend's wedding is this next weekend, and I'm really excited, and I wanted to wear it because it would go so well with the dress I'm going to wear. And I finished it, so now I can wear it because I need to block it. So as you can see, I mean, it's still big, but when you wear it like this, it's like if you drape it over your arms like that, there's not a lot hanging down here. So once it's blocked, it will be. But at the moment, you know, there's not a lot. So you definitely almost have to wear it like over your shoulders, kind of thing. So this is using hand-dyed yarn that I dyed from Multifarious Nature. This is the Purple Iris colorway, and then this is the Raspberry colorway. And I'll show you a little bit better here because, yeah. So that, again, this is the Purple Iris. And look at the beautiful stitch texture going on. So such an easy knit, guys. Highly recommend it. Oh yeah, and funny story. So you wouldn't know this by looking at it. You're probably like, oh, it looks fine. And I probably wouldn't say anything otherwise, but I just want to be honest because if you knit this, you'll be like, why does mine not look like that? So it's kind of like lacy down the spine. I mean, it kind of is tight, but it's definitely like gapey. And I finally fixed it down here when I switched to the Raspberry. Whoops. I finally did it properly. So I did my make one right incorrectly. I don't know why. I always struggle with the make one right. And I got, I kid you not, all the way down to here. And then I had a video pop up on my YouTube feed from the wonderful Stephen West, amazingly talented individual. If you haven't ever watched anything by Stephen West, please go check out Stephen West's videos on YouTube. Just do it. He's amazing. Anyway, the video that popped up was a make one right, make one left tutorial by Stephen West. And I was like, oh my gosh, hilarious. And I just enjoy watching his videos anyway, so I clicked on it to watch it. So he gives you little like hints on how to remember make one rights, make one left. And I was doing the make one lefts correctly. I was doing the make one rights incorrectly. So the key to the make one rights and the make one lefts is when you're doing it, it's gonna feel awkward. It just will. It'll feel awkward. And it's not as fast of a stitch as if you're doing your knit stitch, for an example. And I should have known better because when I was doing the make one right, I was like, wow, this is really easy. So when I did the make one right, I went through the back stitch or leg, the back leg of the stitch instead of the front, which when you do it correctly, it like cinches in and it makes an invisible increase and keeps it tight, where I didn't do that, so I have gaping. Like basically it looks like lace work. And when you're that far along, even if it is an easy knit, you don't really want to like undo it. You know what I mean? Like if it's consistent throughout the entire piece, you know, why rip it out? So I actually did consistently make it incorrectly on the edge because I didn't want that to look weird where it got tight at one point and then it was loose in the rest. So I did consistently screw it up on purpose at one point because I didn't want it to look weird. So I did do it correctly in the center at the very bottom, and I figured that'd be fine because no one's really going to notice that anyway. But I loved, okay, so this is my first time working with my, I did a sample, I got a sample from my supplier of BFL lace weight yarn, 100% non-superwash, and that's what this is here for the Raspberry. Oops. So I held it double So it's 2 strands, it's a 2-ply lace weight, and it worked so well because it's non-superwash. It kind of grips itself, so when you're stitching with it together, it's super easy to stitch. Stitch with 2 strands held together. There we go. I can talk, I swear. Yeah, it worked really well. So easily holding those together definitely was the weight equivalent of a fingering, kind of a lightweight fingering, and it worked so well. So I need to, of course, block that, and that'll then grow, of course. This will grow, the silk definitely will grow, or silk merino, because merino always grows, usually an inch, I would say, at least. So really excited about that. This is how big it is, and I have not blocked it yet. So you can see there's a nice stretch. I did a stretchy bind off that I have not ever done before, and it worked so well. The tutorial the designer actually included in the pattern, so if you want to watch that, just go over to the pattern and she'll show you how to do it, and it's awesome. I definitely use that bind off. Again, I love the 3-needle bind off. Ugh, I love the look of it. But this was a really nice, very straight, solid bind off, and it just looks so nice. So I'm really excited, guys. So of course I have to weave in the ends because there's ends. But yeah, and it doesn't take, I mean, it takes a lot of yarn, but it doesn't take a lot. These are only 2 skeins. I used 1 skein of my 50/50, and then I'm on the other skein, but I didn't even use a whole skein for that other colorway. I mean, I still have this much left. Now this was over 800 yards because of lace weight, but I'd say I didn't even probably use half of it, and it worked so well doing pulling from the center and the outside together, held together, to do the knitting with that. This one worked so well with that. It did not tangle. I was just so impressed, so impressed. So if I decide to purchase the lace weight BFL lace weight yarn for the shop as a base, this would definitely be a lace weight yarn I would go with. This knit up so well, and I mean, I don't have the durability yet, I haven't tried it, but just feeling the way this feels, it's very secure. It feels very strong. I'm very impressed by this. So I have worked with BFL before. It was a fingering weight non-superwash BFL, and I loved it. I have that in my Deandra shawl that I made, and it's holding up amazingly. I really like it, and it's warm, so love it. So this is the, again, Passe Partout by Maanel. Beautiful, beautiful shawl. You could do it with single color if you wanted. That's how it's photographed on the pattern on Ravelry. But I decided to do 2 colors because why not? And I also did have a little bit, probably about maybe 15 grams of the purple lilac left. So I didn't even use the full skein. So I think it turned out great. So I'm really looking forward to getting that all blocked up so I can wear it to my friend's wedding celebration. So yeah, that's again the raspberry colorway and purple iris. So yeah, I hope you guys had a great week. I'm trying to think life-wise, if you guys want to know what's been going on. Knitting a lot, clearly. A lot of knitting. I'm really setting aside time to knit. I took off Monday this coming week. Getting back into work has been, I don't know about you guys, but I don't really like to dwell on the stress of the situation, you know, with everything, the pandemic, all that, because it's stressful and we have enough of that, right? Let's not dwell on it. But we are now back into the office full time, and which is great. It's really nice to see people again. There are a lot of wonderful people that I work with, and it is really nice to see them again. There's a nice, it's just different having that presence and being in person. It is really nice. It's just, we hired a lot of people over the past year, and well, we've all been working mainly remote, and now we're all in person, and we've realized we've really outgrown our building. So it's a little stressful to say the least, just because we're all in there at once, and yeah, and like many people that might follow me, you guys, I don't know about you, but I am definitely an introvert at heart. I think sometimes I fall on that fine line, but I definitely like recharge by being by myself, which just makes sense why a lot of the things I enjoy doing are by myself. Knitting, painting, I haven't done in a long time, but knitting, reading, all of that good stuff, sewing, like these are all things you kind of do by yourself. You can totally do it with other people, but you just tend to do it by yourself. And I just feel really good. So when I was working remote, those people that, you know, were having a hard time with that, I actually really enjoyed it. In the beginning it was hard because it's scary, it's new, but once you get used to having that time, you know, not commuting to work, so you have more time. I gained so much time, which gave me more time to work on Multifarious Nature and this channel and everything. And now being back and work full time, it's weird because the stress makes me want to knit more. So I've just been knitting ferociously, and like even on lunch breaks, I try to get through my lunch as quickly as possible so I can knit or crochet. And then when I get home, I do that. And I've like actually set a schedule, so I do so much time where I'm knitting, and then of course doing stuff around the house because that needs to get done too. But like really setting time aside to focus on the knitting because it takes a lot of time. And that's why I have the progress I have. Please don't feel bad if you take longer to get projects done. I mean, I think the first scarf I ever made was when I was in college, I think. I mean, it was probably before that, but the first like cabled scarf that I made, so it was more detailed, was in college, and I swear it took me over, I mean, well actually, I was gonna say it took me over a year, but I showed it in a previous video, a finished object, and it was like a laughable finished object because I literally just bound it off. But it was that scarf. It was the scarf I worked on in college, and it actually took me a lot longer, but in essence, it took me a year to knit it, and then I just stopped, and it still wasn't done. So it's a perfect example of projects can take forever. So the reason why I get through these projects is because, one, I really make it a priority to work on it, even a little bit here and there. I mean, I'm talking maybe 10 or 15 minutes, if at the like minimum, you know, try to do that. And then having multiple projects is good too for me. I like the variety, but as I said before, I try super hard not to do more than 3 projects because then I can complete them. If I have too many projects going, you get into this almost bottomless pit, and then usually there's one project that gets completely neglected. I've really been neglecting that Amelia Tank, so there's not as much progress on it, primarily because I'm getting irritated with the yarn, and I think that's the biggest thing, is to enjoy what you're working with and working on. So I am greatly enjoying working with wool, even in the summer. I love working with merino, the Peruvian Highland wool too. I mean, love working with it. It's a little hard to work on when your hands get really sweaty, you know. So I've definitely been finding myself coming indoors with the air conditioning so I can knit on it and not like get slowed down by my own hands, which sounds ridiculous, but it's true. I've heard other people say that too. Yeah, but so there's that little weird like tangent. And then the other thing I want to do is kind of work on this area. So I have that bag of beautiful vintage wool that I got like about 2 weeks ago. I still have that bag up because I basically I just didn't put it away, and I need to do that. And a lot of these little bins are filled with yarn, spilled. So I need to go through and reorganize. I will probably maybe put some books and stuff up top here, and put some yarn in here, and just get that from being in a bag on the floor to being put away. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a little like fearful of just putting like the wool up here, because I feel like I'm just terrified that moths will get to it. Not like we have a moth problem or anything, but I don't know, I'm just like, I hear horror stories. So I kind of want to put that into the bins, and then put like any acrylic or cotton, because I definitely have that for other things. I like to do little crocheted critters and stuff, and I do that with cotton because it's washable, and acrylic for the same reason. Super washable, easy to wash for kids. And maybe put that in here just to get it out of the container so I have room for the wool. Yeah, that's a project I want to work on. If not today, definitely tomorrow, since I have the day off. I will probably work on that just so that I can get stuff put away, because I don't like it laying all over. It's stressful. Clutter definitely stresses me out. Yeah, so that's a project that I want to work on. But I'd love to hear what you guys are up to. If you have like any organization tips for your yarn, or that kind of thing, I would love to hear about it below. Or just like what's going on in your lives. I'd love to hear about it. I am always happy to hear you guys are doing well. And yeah, I hope you're staying happy, healthy, and I hope you're creating. Please share what you're creating below. And oh, if you're not subscribed yet, please feel free to subscribe by hitting the subscribe button below. And if you like what you saw in the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down, but I hope you enjoyed it. And oh, and hit the bell for notifications, so whenever I post a new video, you'll be notified. And I would love to do a giveaway in the future. I know I've been asked that before, and I'm not at that point yet to do that, but I would love to do that. And I'm trying to think of ideas that I could do for that at some point here. So there will be a giveaway in the future at some point. I'm not there yet, but once I am, I will of course let you guys know. And yeah, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Take care. Bye.